Hello word selection community, hope you had a good day. This is another video I'm making, and this one is very different. Actually, it's one of my guys I'm making about the stats of units. Yeah, stats of units. For those who don't know, there are many stats for a unit. As you can see there are many stats there, and I'm going to talk about what they do and how they operate, particularly the percentage value at the end, because that's very confusing for beginners, and that's something I had to investigate and ask a lot of my fellow colleagues in the game about what it does, how it works, how can I use it to my best advantage. And this is what I'm going to tell you, and I hope you're going to use it to win more games, to become better players, because yeah, it's important. This is one of the most important stats in the game, and it's very difficult to actually know how to use it because there is no tutorial how it works, there is no description what it does and how it works. So that's what I'm doing. So yeah, if you like this video, definitely tell me that, because I put a lot of work in doing this. Alright, then let the video starts. Alright, I want to talk about the Slinger. The Slinger stats. It's a very simple example, one of the first range units in the game. You can see the Slinger has a damage of 8 and a special damage for buildings, which is 5. Most range units have certain limitation like this, and that's completely normal. Now, you can see that it has a clock. The clock has a time of 2. That means that's its attack speed. There should be something to describe it, like if that's attack speed, but I'm telling you that's attack speed. Now, the thing on the right, you can see between 5 to 80, that's the range. So the minimum range is 5 and the maximum is 80. And you can see in the yellow, if you see in the yellow, that's his range in the game, and that's completely normal. So 80 is up to there, and 5 is up to here. Alright, so the 15%, the thing at the very right, with the bullseye image there, I guess, there is no description if it's the accuracy, if it's the hit rate percentage. There is no information, but from experiments, and the community found out, it is related to a value that is called dispersion rate. The core of this video, I'm going to talk about how this value determines the way how to use the unit properly, because that's something that many people struggle with, and I also was confused, so I'm gonna help you a lot to understand how this works. Alright, this is the range between the Slinger and the target, which is the deer. This is the circle of dispersion. That is the range, or if you want to check the radius, so you can calculate this. So anyway, this is the radius of dispersion, which has an equal probability, of hitting inside it. So anywhere inside that circle, the Slinger has an equal probability of hitting anywhere inside it. So ideally, you want that circle to be small, right? That's the logic. In order to hit the target, all you have to do is essentially get closer to the target as much as possible, and that should increase your accuracy. So the value that I said for a minute ago about the 15% value there, that value decides the size of the radius depending on the range from the target. So the farther you are from the target, the larger the circle is, and the closer you are to the target, the smaller the circle. So that is very critical. That's very critical. So I'm going to show you exactly how you can verify, or at least get some rough estimate for that optimum distance. Alright, I'm sure some of you are wondering, how do you calculate the radius of dispersion? So it's pretty simple, you don't have to worry too much. Calculation is just the distance from the target, yeah, times the dispersion. Let me just add a pointer. There we go. That's it. Just the distance times the dispersion. So if you have a 15% dispersion, and you know that the distance is 80, you just plug the numbers in and get some rough estimate. Alright, so I need to work for you, and I know what's going on. Yeah, I need to work for you, and I plotted the values. So essentially, I have the distance up to 500, which is a big amount for any unit, and the dispersion, which is the percentage that you get for every unit. And now you see all kinds of coloring, right? So you need to go to the thingy there, which I forgot the name. But anyway, the darker the color, the smaller the radius is. So you want the radius to be as much as possible close to 0. That's your aiming, that's what you want to be efficient with your unit, correct? So for our Slinger has a 0.15% dispersion without any upgrades and stuff like that. So if you look closely, the bandwidth for a 10 radii is around here, okay? So this is the 10 radii. The radius of 10 is here, and most units a radius of 10 is pretty optimum. But if you can go even below that, that's awesome. But anyway, a radius of 10 is approaching the range of 80. Okay? So by standard, a range of 80 is the maximum you can go as a Slinger. So anytime your unit or your target is getting close to you, in fact, that means your chances of hitting is increasing by a lot. So if your opponent's range is even lower than this thing, you might approach this region down there, which has a more dark color. You can't see it properly in here, but it is darker. Now, for others who have, I don't know, a higher dispersion rate, yeah, lower dispersion rate, 0.10, that 10% essentially, you can see that for 10% you get the same value with higher range, right? That's the meaning of a lower dispersion. So for lower dispersion rate, essentially to lower the percentage that you see, that means that you can shoot for longer ranges or longer distances and acquire the same efficiency as a unit that fires, I don't know, closer to you. So for instance, a longbowman has a good efficiency at long distance, and a ranger has a good efficiency at long distances. I think sniper is one of the best at hitting every unit in the game, no matter what the distance he has, even the maximum distance he has, because of his amazingly 2%, yeah, just 2% somewhere in this region here. That's a sniper. Somewhere here, that's a sniper. He can fire up to 500 range if he wants to, and he can still hit consistently. So you just know that this is essentially the plot that you can use to get a rough estimate. So let me give you an interesting case. What happens when you have a 20%, yeah, 20% dispersion? Usually that's cavalry, horse archers that they move around. One unique case is Asia horse archers, particularly the East Asia horse archers. They have around 20%, and one unique feature is that they can attack while moving. So in that case, I want 50 range is the optimum distance to shoot. But we all know, because they shoot while firing, they need to use every arrow they can shoot to the best efficiency. So getting close to the target, up to close to 0, essentially guarantees hitting them without being hit by the opponent, if the opponent is melee or a cavalry that is slow. Then you have a chance to hit them with a high accuracy, although your dispersion is larger. Now for Katyushas, yeah, Katyushas have, I believe, 30%. As much as you want to hit with Katyushas, you can't hit them with a range of 40 or so. That's not happening. So Katyushas, when they fire at a distance of 200 and more, bear in mind your chance of hitting might be only, I don't know, abysmal, because that's a 45 radius. 45 radius is abysmal. Trust me, you won't hit anything with 45. So you need a large amount of Katyushas, or a large amount of projectiles to be shot in order to hit something. And that's why Katyushas have 20 or so, I don't know, missiles, which hit. And they do a small damage each one, but with a large number, like 5 to 10 Katyushas, do a good amount of damage to eco and buildings. So that's the best advantage that's the best example where high number of projectiles is the key. Otherwise, you won't hit anything. And I believe that the rocket cannons have also 0.3 value, or 0.2, I'm not sure, one of the two. And they do the exact same thing. Only, if you try to shoot in, I don't know, somewhere here, then you better give up. You won't hit anything. You need to be close to the target. No, you need to be close to the target, but you're not gonna be that close. They have, I think, a range of 200 or so, or even more. So you can see that in this range it's difficult to hit anything. So that's why anything below 15% dispersion for artillery, like howitzers. Howitzers have 14%, so roughly here, I guess. Howitzers are pretty good at medium distances. That's a very good accuracy. That's a 20. It's a 20. This line is a 20. All of this line, this contour, is a 20 radius. That's a good accuracy. Usually buildings have around 20 radii, maybe a bit less, maybe 10 to 15, or 15 roughly. Depends on the building. Towers have lower, but most buildings like houses and forts and stuff like that has close to 15. So this is a very good radii or distance to shoot. Of course, it's also dangerous because you can be hit from archers, but if you really want to guarantee your hit, this is a good place to be. Okay. So, you want to know how to dodge arrows? Well, the answer is simple. Escape the circle of dispersion before a projectile arrives. It's that simple. Alright, so for those who don't know, this is one of the X Factor YouTube videos, and I just want to show you how you can dodge, essentially. How can you dodge the projectiles in the game? Because it's actually very interesting how it works, and honestly, it's pretty simple. there's only one way how to dodge arrows or projectiles, and that's to escape them. It's pretty simple. The projectiles want to get to a certain radii from the target. So, ideally, if you escape the radii or circle where that radii exists, that means you have no way of getting hit. So a mobile unit is more secure than a static or non-mobile unit. So this video has a 50 or so, I think more than 50, 100 or so longbowmen, which have good accuracy, and I think here it's only about 70 or so range, maybe even less. So their circle is actually small, so they should actually hit an immobile target very easily. And you're going to see in this short clip how just a horse archer can run around and doesn't die. Let's see, let's go. As you can see, he just moves around, nothing unique there. The arrows, they do a good job hitting the locations that he was. And now the longbowmen are getting closer, but at the same time he's running. So he's running just by a hair width every time before the arrows come hit him. And this is exactly what's supposed to happen in a match. And it's completely normal. The closer you are to the target, essentially the chances are you're gonna get hit. And the farther away from that target, in this case it's paradox, the farther away from those longbowmen, yeah, if you were very far from them, like 150 to 200, actually 150 is the max range you have, 150 range, there's a good chance someone will hit him because there will be a lot of dispersed circles around him. And there's 100 longbowmen here, so it's a paradox. Because they're accurate, and their accuracy actually causes them this issue. So in this case, inaccuracy might actually hit this lone cavalry, because the arrows will just go randomly some location. And because of the randomness, the cavalry will get hit if he's some lengthy distance away. The maximum distance, I mean. If he's close, then there's a very good chance you can just escape. So this is the easiest way to how to dodge projectiles, unless you are a gunpowder unit, and then it doesn't matter. You can't run away from bullets. Bullets are fast. In the game, bullets travel way faster than arrows. This is the reason why you can dodge arrows. So essentially, dodging arrows is way more easier than dodging bullets. Bullets travel way faster. Alright. I hope you enjoyed this video. I put a lot of work into it, and it definitely was fun for me, and I hope you use it to the best extent. I hope I managed to help a few of you guys into understanding how dispersion works, and how to use it, how to dodge it. Use that for your knowledge, improve your skills, become a better player. That's important. Alright, have a good day. If you like this, subscribe to my channel, comment, because I want to hear your opinion, and obviously, see you in the next video. Alright, see ya!